You ever feel like you're just kind of a passenger in your own life? Like you're being swept along by currents you have absolutely no control over? Well, today we're talking about how to get back into the driver's seat. We're going to explore how you can become the architect of your own internal power. So let's just dive right in with a pretty fundamental question. And I want you to really think about it for a second. Who's actually in control of your success? Is it you, your actions, your mindset, your discipline, or is it the world around you? Things like luck, other people, just random circumstances. Your gut answer to this, it reveals a whole lot more than you might think. You see, whatever you answered, it points to this really deep-seated belief system, a psychological framework that kind of shapes your entire life. Psychologists have a name for this. It's called a locus of control. And honestly, understanding this is the absolute key to unlocking your internal power. It's the bedrock for everything else we're going to talk about today. So, what exactly is this powerful idea? Well, an internal locus of control is this profound, unshakable belief that you are the architect of your life. It's the deep down conviction that success, and hey, failure too, doesn't just happen to you. Nope, it happens because of you, because of your choices, your efforts, and your own determination. And this slide just lays out the difference so clearly. On the left, you've got that internal mindset. I make things happen. That leads to taking action, to having agency. But on the right, you see the external view. Things happen to me. And that often leads to feeling helpless, maybe even a little resentful. It's the core difference between being the driver of your life and just being a passenger along for the ride. Okay, so that's the theory. And it's a powerful one, for sure. But here's the million-dollar question, right? How does this powerful way of thinking actually translate into concrete actions? How do you go from just believing you're in control to acting like it day in and day out? Let's get into the practical side of this. One of the most potent actions that comes from a strong internal locus of control is this practice called selective self-presentation. Now, I know it might sound a little academic, a little textbooky, but trust me, this is one of the most practical and empowering tools you can possibly have. It's all about being deliberate with your own story. So what does that actually mean? Well, it's the conscious, intentional choice of what parts of your life you share, and this is the really critical part, who you share them with. This isn't about hiding or being fake. It's about being a strategic guardian of your own story, and, maybe just as importantly, your own emotional energy. This breaks it down into 3 really simple, actionable steps. First, you assess who has truly earned the right to your inner world. Think of it like an inner circle. Not everybody gets a key. Second, you define your emotional boundaries. What are you okay with sharing, and where do you draw the line? And third, when you do share, you do it with a clear intention. To connect, maybe to get specific advice, but not just for that quick hit of external validation. Now, I get it. A big question probably pops up here, especially in a world that's always shouting about radical transparency. You might be thinking, isn't this just a form of hiding? Isn't it a sign of insecurity or self-doubt? And that's a completely valid concern, but it comes from a misunderstanding of what really drives this powerful practice. To really grasp the power here, we've got to reframe how we look at it. This isn't about building walls because you doubt yourself. It's about valuing yourself enough to be the thoughtful guardian of your own inner world. It is a profound act of self-respect, not self-doubt. And I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Choosing who deserves access to your life is not self-doubt. It is profound self-respect. It's about treating your story, your vulnerability, and your energy like the precious, limited resources they are, and only sharing them with people who will honor that. So let's be crystal clear about this. When you consciously and deliberately choose who gets to hear your story, who gets access to your struggles and your triumphs, you are actively exercising your internal power. You are showing yourself and the world that you are in control of your own narrative, period. Okay, so let's bring all these pieces together. We've laid down the foundation of this belief system, and we've explored the concrete action you can take. Now let's look at the final blueprint for how you can start architecting your inner world with both strength and purpose. Here it is, your blueprint. It all starts with that solid foundation, building up your internal locus of control. This belief empowers you to use selective self-presentation not as a shield out of weakness, but as a strategic tool that's born from self-respect. And when you put all that together, the ultimate outcome is undeniable. You become the architect of your own power. And so, we'll leave you with this final, empowering question. You have the tools now, and you have the mindset.
The only thing left to do is to start building. So what is the first blueprint you're going to draw for your own internal power? Thanks for tuning in.